get 2.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2023 Toyota RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
Good morning, everyone. Today on Perspectives, we hear from Bishop State Community College's president after nearly 12 months in office. Olivier Charles is Bishop State's sixth president. Prior to President Charles's appointment, for 50 years of Bishop State's history, only 3 people served in the college's top position. Then in 2015, following the unexpected death of President James Lowe Jr., some school loyalists say that a period of instability started and lasted for nearly 7 years. Now, when selected for the position, President Charles said that he is here to be a long-term president, to lead the institution into a new era of community-focused success. Nearly 100 years ago, it started as an in-service arm of Alabama State College. In 1927, it became known as the Branch. And over the decades, Bishop State has matured into an educational, vocational, and career-offering degree-granting institution. The Forsyth Community College's vision is to equip students with the skills, knowledge, and ability to achieve real-world success. Bishop State is one of the Alabama Community College System's 24 colleges which offer 2 to 4 year transfer, dual enrollment, technical training, adult and community education. Our guest this morning on Perspectives, Olivier Charles, President, Bishop State Community College. When Perspectives continues today, President Charles will tell us how his first nearly 12 months at Bishop State have gone, the successes, and his vision for the community college. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back this morning. Our very special guest, the president of Bishop State Community College, Olivier Charles. He joins us this morning after nearly a year in office. And in fact, Courtney reminded me, who is in charge of marketing and public information for Bishop State, that you had only been on the job maybe, one day when you joined us last time.
Yeah, I was.
so a lot of thought into the vision and your plans for the school. Tell us about how this first 12 months, I can say 10 and a half months now?
That's right.
How it's gone.
Well, first, I know more names now.
Okay.
Compared to the last time we talked, but it's been great. I'm still humbled by this opportunity to help so many people improve their lives and get to either a transfer institution or get directly to work. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful year. I'd like to say that I'm still on my honeymoon, but it's been great.
When you look at some of the I guess you could say dynamics and even politics taking place when you first came in. Have you been able to soothe some of that and people seeing now that this is somebody who we were looking forward to finally being here?
Yes, sir. To be honest, we didn't focus a lot on that. We focused on making Bishop State the best institution that we can be. So we spent a lot of our time building relationships, establishing good pathways for our students to become better at whatever it is they desire. So we've actually focused a lot on working with the community, developing those relationships, particularly with our partners, just to make sure that our institution is quality or as quality as can be in terms of providing good education.
Do you think that being a Mobile native and having been educated here prior to going off to a 4-year institution, that has helped a lot?
Absolutely. Well, I didn't have to use a GPS as much to get around, but it absolutely has helped me because I kind of knew how to move within the city in terms of the K-12 population, so that made things easier. I don't mind telling people that our best partner and our most important partner are K-12 institutions. Mm-hmm. So we focus heavily on establishing strong pipelines and strong relationships with them.
You know, you mentioned that. It makes me think back to when I was in Georgia as an elementary kid, K-12, mm-hmm. and my elementary school was on the campus of Albany State College. Mm-hmm. It was called a laboratory school, but it was really a public school, mm-hmm. but happened to be on campus. And, you know, unknowingly thinking about seeing myself there one day. Mm-hmm. So how do you develop that kind of thought process for the K-12 population here that knows there is a Bishop State and get them to thinking that that's where I may be in the future?
So I gotta say, I think Mobile and Washington County have a fantastic K-12 setup. Whether it's public or private, they have been amazing to us in terms of how we come in, allowing us access to their students, and essentially helping us in terms of recruiting their students. So that relationship has been fantastic. I'll say one of the best gateways for us has been dual enrollment. We are fortunate that our legislature, thanks to our local legislature especially, they help fund dual enrollment. So essentially students in high school can take college classes while they're still in high school. I think that's the perfect exposure. You know, whether it's I want to take a welding class to see what it's like, or I want to take English 101 to transfer with me wherever I go. It's been a very strong indicator of who's interested in Bishop State and who's just interested in furthering themselves. So big thanks to our legislature and our K-12 partners, but dual enrollment is kind of the new wave of education in terms of getting into high schools a lot earlier and getting to students earlier.
We've had some exciting stories about the successes of some students this past, I guess you could say right during the graduation period, of how they had used the dual enrollment program to get degrees before or as they were finishing high school, I guess you could say.
Absolutely.
And at the same time having things already in preparation for that next step. So it's something that I don't know if they had it when you were in school. They didn't have it.
I wish.
It might, okay, same here.
I wish. It would have saved me a lot of loans. I wish.
Exactly.
But it's an amazing program. We are fortunate at Bishop State. Our pass rate for dual enrollment is about 90%. So our students do exceptionally well. The quality and the rigor of the classes are still there. These are college level classes that these high school students are taking, and they're extremely successful. So imagine, and we had a couple of them a couple of months ago that graduated from us before high school.
Right.
Imagine an 18-year-old having an associate's degree before they get their high school diploma. It's happening all over the state.
Well, who's a candidate for that program?
So
any high school student?
Any high school student. The only requirement is that they have completed the 10th grade. So that's it. They have to be in the, have to be in the 10th grade or higher, and they're eligible. That's it.
That is incredible.
That's it.
And then, of course, they have the selection of your whole curriculum as.
So what we try to do is work directly with our high school partners. So if there's somebody at the high school that's qualified to teach, we actually hire them as an adjunct instructor. They're on our payroll, they're our instructors, and they get to teach while they're at the high school. But the student has the option. They can take the class online, they can come to our campus, or we can go to them and teach the class there. So there's so many variations of it, and we have it in every single school in our service area.
What a program.
Absolutely.
That is awesome.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things we wanted to talk to you this morning about, some of the great things that you got going on there. Talk about that HVAC fast track graduation and program.
Absolutely. We love that program. So that program is through a partnership with Alabama Power. They are one of our amazing partners, and that program essentially gets a student qualified to be an apprentice or a helper with any AC company that they want to, but those classes are actually applicable towards an associate's degree. So what it allows the student to do is to come through a 10-week program, start working, have those classes apply towards their associates, and then complete their associate while they're working.
You know, and when you talk about working, talk about the kind of money that these HVAC people make, as well as they can turn this into their own business.
Absolutely. Well, it's a combination of a technical program and also an entrepreneurship opportunity for them as well. We live in a wonderful part of the state. When it gets hot or cold, we'll pay whatever it is to get that system.
That's right.
fixed.
We're feeling it right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's an amazing program. So typically salaries start at about $45,000, and that's entry level for these people, and they're able to climb the ladder or start their own business whenever possible. That's one of the beauties of all of our associate degree programs, is that they're all high wage, high demand programs that lead to quality salaries for people.
You also have a Fame on the Coast program.
Yes, sir.
Now, how is that different, and what does that entail?
So the FAME is the Federation of Advanced Manufacturing. It is essentially an apprenticeship program. So a student, imagine a student would come to class for 2 days a week and go to work for 3 days a week. We have what we call a FAME chapter, and we have companies that are partners within that chapter. So companies like Alabama Power, SSAB, Lenzing Fiber, Anakumpo, they're all partners. So those students essentially work for them a few days a week, and they go to class with us a couple of days a week. At the end of that program, the student will have an associate's degree and a full-time job. So while they're working for these companies, they're getting paid. So they're getting to apply what they learn in class literally the next day at work. And it's built around the process technology program that we have, and we've just introduced a new FAME program in industrial maintenance as well.
Now, do these students have to have an an interest, or do they get exposed to it where they can see, oh yeah, maybe I can do this?
Absolutely. It's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. So there are admissions requirements for FAME. It's very simple in terms of the admissions requirements. They just need to apply and have a 17 ACT score. The good thing is I think the company gets to see if the student is a fit, and the student gets to see if they're a fit for the company. Because a lot of times we go through school, we get a degree, and then we go to work and we hate it. With this, the student has the opportunity to go through it and decide along the program, hey, maybe I want to go this route or go that route a little bit, and the company gets to do the same thing. That's
an excellent program.
It
when
is.
You talk about having the opportunity to see, to sort of do a taste test.
Absolutely.
And not, as you mentioned, make the investment on the other aspect. And you call that the Bishop State Center for Advanced Manufacturing.
Absolutely.
So you've got a lot going on in that center.
Yeah, it's our new CamTech building. We call it CamTech for short. It is 80,000 square feet. 30,000 of it is dedicated towards STEM education, but the other 50,000 is advanced manufacturing. So process technology, our FAME program is in there. We have a wonderful machine tool technology program. We're putting out machinists. That program just started a month ago, and it is on fire right now. We've got booming enrollment. We're busting at the seams, and people are being hired before they even finish the program.
My goodness.
We have an electronics engineering program. We have a computer-aided drafting with 3D printing program. So we've got a lab that has a slew of 3D printers in it. So the goal with all of our technical programs is that when a student graduates, they are ready for work. They don't have to go to work and get trained again. They're ready for work once they leave our doors.
That's a great program. We're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about some of the other great programs that Bishop State has brought into the fold, so to speak, and you're a part of, as well as people that are watching today can make sure their children or their grandchildren have some opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Perspectives continues with President Charles in just a moment. Welcome back this morning. Our very special guest, the president of Bishop State Community College, President Olivier Charles, and he's here with us this morning, and we're talking about some of the programs that we talked in that last segment a lot about, some of the programs that are geared toward manufacturing and technical and working with your hands. But you also have done some recent collaboration with other universities that are in the area, and you have a program both with Columbia Southern University and with Miles College. Why don't we talk about those two?
Absolutely. Again, we're always focused on creating opportunities for our students. And we love the agreements that we've signed lately. We have an outstanding agreement with the University of South Alabama, which creates wonderful opportunities for our students. We've been able to sign a partnership with Columbia Southern over in Orange Beach. They're one of the nation's largest online education providers, and they've created opportunities for our students to transfer to them as well. So
talk about the advantage of online.
Absolutely. Well, it's for a student that works or has life in a way, right? So if a student has kids or a demanding job, they're able to take courses at their own leisure, at their own time, to be able to fast track and complete. Bishop State also offers all of our programs online as well. But this agreement with Columbia Southern is great. We've signed a partnership with Miles College in Birmingham. We recently signed one with Grand Canyon University last week, and so we're excited about that partnership as well. And we've got a couple more that we're working on for our students. But anything that creates these opportunities for our students is what we're after at Bishop State.
And these expand your curriculum as far as offerings, correct?
Well, it does, but it also creates a pipeline. So typically the students that will take advantage of this have already completed their associate's degree with us, and they're able to articulate that into a bachelor's degree at these institutions.
That is awesome. And
Absolutely.
Of course, Miles is in the Birmingham area. When you talk about the opportunity of being able to take what you've earned with your associate and your credit hours at Bishop, and then you make the move to that four-year institution, what is that like? What's the transition like for those who are making that?
Yes, sir. It's smooth. We have an agreement. All of our colleges have an agreement called the STARS agreement. So what we always tell people is that Bishop State does three things. We prepare you for transfer, we prepare you for work, or we can do some boutique training. But in terms of preparing students to transfer, every single year our kids go to all the colleges in the state and beyond. So we're fortunate that we have, I think this year we actually have a couple of athletes going to Alabama to play. We've got kids going to UAB, South Alabama, of course, but they also go to a lot of HBCUs around the state, Alabama A&M, Alabama State. All of them get a lot of our students. But what we always tell the students is we do the work for you. We make sure that your courses are transferable. All they have to do is focus on their classes.
That's outstanding. You know, you were really making school sound exciting as compared to years ago for some, and especially for those who weren't quite sure what they wanted to do. And that's always one of the challenges for some students. They aren't sure. I knew I need to do something, but what do I do? And how does Bishop State, when you first interview a student like that, what do you do for them?
That's a great question. So one of the things that we have is that every single student at Bishop State is assigned an advisor. We have actually ramped that up since you and I last talked. So every student has an advisor that's going to help them, that's going to push them, that's going to be their advocate throughout the whole process. So we do career assessments. We get to know the student. We tell them an advising session is intense because it's not about us putting you in class. It's about us figuring out what you want to do. And it's okay if the student doesn't know, because our people are trained to help them understand that process and get to something that's good for them. So sometimes we have to create internship and apprenticeship opportunities for them, and sometimes they know, so we put them directly towards that program.
Did you know when you first went away to college what you wanted to do?
I changed my major 6 times as a freshman. So within 1 year, I changed my major 6 times, and I landed on education. So I'm a teacher by education, and I'm still not in my field. So I'm one of those students, and I always tell them that I've been in their shoes, and it just makes things easier in terms of how we help our students.
It makes a difference. I'm the same way. I went thinking I was going to play pro football, believe it or not, and do something else to make a living. You know?
Absolutely.
And, of course, once you get in the environment, you see that you've got to start finding which way to go.
Absolutely, and we can do that for them. That's what we always tell students. If they're committed, our folks are 110% committed to helping them.
You mentioned boutique. What were we talking about, boutique programs?
Sure. So we work with businesses or with companies directly. We approach education a little differently at Bishop State. If we have a program, what we do is we talk to the companies that hired the students from the program, and we show them our curriculum. And we say, does this fit? Would you hire a student that's learned this, this, and this? And if the answer is yes, then we're good to go. If they want to change something, then we do. We alter it, because we always want to put something out, a student out that's employable. But in terms of boutique, it's kind of how we work a program backwards. So for example, our agreement with Airbus came out of a boutique conversation, and we built what they needed in terms of how they want a student to be. So we can do that in terms of taking instead of taking education and boxing it up and saying, here's what we did, we like to ask them what it is that they need, and then we build it so that they can have somebody that's employable. That
makes a lot of sense. Now, what about someone who has a talent in barbering and cosmetology and that type of thing? Is there a place for them at Bishop State?
Absolutely. We have arguably the best barbering and cosmetology program in the state. We are actually remodeling both of those facilities. So this time next year, we will have some of the best looking facilities in the state when it comes to those programs. But those are 2 of our highest demand programs. They are wonderful. The people, the instructors within those programs are amazing. And as you can imagine, those students walk out of that program either as an entrepreneur and owning their own business, or going to work for someone until they reach that point that they do want to own their own business.
Some incredible things going on at Bishop State. Let's talk about the Thurgood Marshall College Fund.
So we're excited about that. There are 6 historically black community colleges in Alabama, and the TMCF inducted all of us into the fund together. We are the first group of community colleges ever to be a part of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. What this does is that it creates opportunities for our students. So they will have access to internships on a national level. So Apple, Google, all of these Fortune 500 companies are going to look to our students. It also creates scholarship opportunities for them as well. The Thurgood Marshall College Fund is the largest nonprofit supporter of HBCUs in the country. So we're excited to be a part of the fund. Less than 100 schools total are a part of it. So we're excited to be in that fold.
That is awesome. Got a couple of things. We got a couple of minutes. Let's talk about the Wildcat road trip.
Absolutely. I can arguably say that that's one of my favorite things that we've done. We wanted education to be accessible. So what we did was we put our admissions, financial aid, recruitment, all of these offices literally on a bus, on one of our buses, and took them to our local high schools. And we set up stations so that students at LaFleur and Viger and Blunt and so forth could actually just come to the library. And on that same day, we allowed them to apply for admission, get registered for fall classes, sign up for financial aid, and they walked away that day with the schedule. We did it all in one day. So instead of waiting for them to come to us, we took our operation to them to be more accessible.
I like that. And your Phi Theta Cap Honor Society students, they won some awards regionally recently.
Absolutely. So our PTK chapter just won 7 awards. So to be in Phi Theta Cap, it is the top 2% of our student body academically. So it's an exceptionally bright group. It's the best of the best for us. But they won 7 awards at their regional conference. And then that group also got to go to Columbus, Ohio for the national conference as well for PTK. So we're exceptionally proud of them, and we're proud of all of our students as well.
Now we've got about a minute left. You've already sold me on Bishop State. Sell the viewer who's watching today either for them, because they're a certain age, they still have a place, their child or their grandchild, why Bishop State is a good option.
Well, first, we'd love to have you whenever you're ready. Okay. But what we always want people to know is that Bishop State is affordable and accessible. And lastly, there are no barriers at Bishop State. So what I mean by that is there's no admission requirement to get in except the fact that you need to apply and complete our application. So there are no testing barriers. We're affordable. We are the most affordable system in the entire state at $125 per credit hour. And last, we're accessible. So whether somebody wants to take classes during the weekends, a hybrid format, online, whatever works for their lifestyle is where we want to be to help that person improve their life. And the last thing that I'll say is that there is this alignment in our region right now between our city, our commission, our county, our legislators, and all of our industry. And all of our goal is to help people get to work or help people improve their quality of life. So if somebody wants to do something different in terms of improving how much money they make, what their quality of life looks like, what their opportunities are to provide for their families, we can help. So we want to be that economic engine that helps people improve their lives. So that could be mom, that could be daughter, that could be dad, that could be boyfriend or niece or whatever. Bishop State is a place where we want our entire region to benefit from.
President Olivier Charles, we thank you so much for coming and sharing today. And of course, a lot of exciting things happen. We're going to show the information, how to get more information if you want to contact Bishop State. There's the phone number, the web address, as well as the address location of the main campus there on Broad Street. So definitely please take advantage of that. We thank you for joining us today on Perspectives. Of course, we'll be back again next Saturday morning with more information. Until then, you have a great week ahead.
Thank you, sir.
After being an attorney for almost 30 years, I hope I know